Okie. Itamexkanatani. Good morning. It is a little bit after dawn on the 14th of March 2024 in the lunar cycle Sa'akisum, the duck moon, which is our second to last winter moon. We're coming out, and in fact, in this cycle, we're going to see the new life starting to emerge. I'm out here with my dogs, who are just romping around having a good time. Big Lucy, husky that I watch, and Taylor, where you at? She's back here, my Rottweiler. And since my last video, Taylor has actually become my dog. My friend who was having me take care of her, his name's Bishop. Some people know him as Harlem. Yeah, he had bought this dog for his wife a year ago as a puppy, and almost fell in a hole. Didn't really know the challenges that they'd be faced with raising a big dog in a place with a landlord that didn't want them to have a dog to begin with, and with little babies. And then last week his wife just had another baby boy, and they just been thinking it over and figuring maybe it's better for them to put their money into the baby than to continue paying to have Taylor be watched, because she's been at my house, 5 days a week for months. And then come to find out, even on the weekend when I leave him with her, or leave her with them, some of those weekends they got other people watching her. So they just decided it's time to face the reality that they're not in a position to have a big Rottweiler dog. And because I've grown so attached to her, hey Tay, it's like a Scooby-Doo. Because I've grown so attached to her, they offered her to me, knowing that I would take good care of her, and I can't refuse. I love Taylor, so. And if I happen to have to go rogue because I lose my house in a year or two or whatever, Taylor will be a good companion, I think, out on the open road, so to speak. Yeah, I really feel the weight of my challenge with sorry, just looking out for my dogs. Taylor, there she is. Yeah, I really feel the weight of my challenge. March 1st of next year, that second mortgage that I just took with Mahoney comes to term, and I either have to have $100,000 to give to them, or I have to start making $1,400 a month payments. I don't think Mahoney's going to be in a position to really help me with that. Even though I am on friendly terms with her and everything right now, you know, she's broke all the time. And so I got to figure out some solutions. The one thing that I have in mind for sure to try to stretch out, you know, try to make it through this hardship is I can have a heater installed in my garage, you know, for the winter. And I can basically move out into my garage, live in my gym, and have somebody rent my master bedroom, you know, for $800 a month. And that'll at least get me a good ways toward having that money that I'm going to need to have. And, you know, camping in my garage is, of course, preferable to just camping and having no home, right? Which is going to be where it goes ultimately. Look at that cool, like, iceberg out there, hey? I figured we'd go a little bit upstream today, even though we're not officially in the dog park anymore, you know? I don't know. Just wandering. I need to have a little bit of a different experience this morning, I think, compared to normally just walking 3-4 rounds of the dog park. Yeah, I love it when we're in this season when the ice clears. And it kind of clears suddenly, and you get these big icebergs normally going downstream, and that didn't really happen, or I missed it last night or something. I don't know. Got a little bit of buildup on the shore. You can hear an airplane out there really kicking it, but I don't see it. Anyhow, got the video rolling for this round. I have a skunk in the back of my truck, picked up on my way to the park here from Clark Bruisedhead's place. Been trying to catch that skunk for almost a week now. I was starting to think we weren't going to catch it, but got him this morning, so I'm going to have to go do a skunk release, and who knows what else will come along the line today. Every day's a you never know, but gonna roll with the camera, see where it leads, and give whatever updates there are still left to give, and have a little exploration of the park this morning. Come on, Tay. Look at this great big beaver lodge. Stuckius. It's a goose couple who are probably going to try to nest here. We're about 2 weeks out from goose nesting. I don't know if this is all erosion here from the beavers digging under or what. That's a nice big beaver lodge, though. I don't see any food cache. I wonder if I surveyed. I must have surveyed this one when Chris and I went down the river toward the end of summer. Looking forward to getting on my kayak in a couple of weeks. Going out and collecting goose eggs. I didn't collect any last year because of the prevalence of the avian flu. I didn't want to eat contaminated eggs, but this year the egg harvest has got to get back on. It's just part of the traditional diet and one of the 4 foods that brings you long life. Samipatapis. Look at these icebergs. Isn't that cool? Should we go check them out? Me and my coffee. Woo. Slippery doggos, don't fall in. Yeah, I should start seeing isocapnia stoneflies on this ice like this. Kind of looking for them. Some of the first insect life that should be coming out here. Hey, get out, what's up? Holy. Right, crazy girl. Trusting some of the weak guys. Whoa! Almost spilled there myself. I really, really love the environment where I live. I can't believe that I have this kind of a natural area to explore, right smack dab in the middle of the of a city of, 150,000 people. It's really nice. And we're surrounded by enough rural area that it doesn't feel like, overpopulated here at all. Right? And Lethbridge is a vortex of high strangeness. Has been for a long time. It's always been a very important place, this where we're coming up to the river confluence. How did we say where the rivers confluence. This was always a very important place because it's really the first river junction on the north end of Blackfoot territory. If you look at the Blackfoot territory's 2 large drainage basins, the North Saskatchewan, or the Upper Saskatchewan, and the Upper Missouri. And this is the first confluence coming from the connection point at what's Lower St. Mary's Lake. Oh. Okay, you guys. Lucy. Come. What's up? Somebody over there, they might have a problem with me having dogs here. Yeah, it turned out that lady who I saw had a dog with her, a male dog that is prone to fighting, but given that these 2 are females, they didn't have an issue, fortunately. But yeah, she came up here this way to isolate, And then these 2 just wanting to go up and visit that boy. And they did. They had fun. It's another goose couple ahead. Not too many goose couples along the river here, but not too many islands on this section for them to nest on. You know, they need protected sites, these geese. Their strategy is to get their family started right away here, as soon as the ice is thawing. So like I'm saying, like 2 weeks time, the full moon after the equinox, they're gonna start dropping eggs, you know, and they're gonna be done before the floods come. But they need, because they're big conspicuous birds, they need at least the protection of being on something like an island, so that they're a little bit removed from potential land predators, you know, coyotes and weasels and all that. Canines. Hey, Tay. Look at these guys. They're just loving it out here. Yeah, these dogs absolutely love exploring these wild areas. Not a whole lot new in Ryan's world. The small mammal work, skunks and raccoons, has continued to, you know, during this mating period, they're mating in February, March, and so I have got a trickle of work. The raccoons, especially on the south side of town, between what we call London Road and the hospital, there has been still more sick raccoons. Hey, Lucy, come down here. We're gonna go this way. Come on, Tay. My good girl. Yeah, I'm still getting calls for raccoons that are obviously got canine distemper, and probably Fish and Wildlife are getting calls too. They at least get to carry a little 22 or something and dispatch them. I got to, I don't know, I think I got to negotiate with the city police and make something happen in that regard. Like, I could really use a little 22 for sick and injured animals, and we need a deer policy in Lethbridge, and like a strategy, you know, how to deal with injured deer, because deer get bumped on the road all the time and end up in somebody's yard having issues, and the person typically, you know, calls around. Fish and Wildlife tells them, let nature take its course. They're, you know, kind-hearted people that are like feeling like we're human beings. We should be able to do something to help the deer, or at least put it out of its misery. And we don't, you know, and the police are not wanting to get involved because they get criticized every time they get involved. You know, whether they're putting down an animal with a weapon or what have you. There's been some embarrassing incidents for the police here trying to deal with the deer, and that's why they're kind of like hesitant to get involved, of course. But I would love to get involved. People call me. Just this little bit of ice got me down. First fall of the winter. But I typically take quite a few ice falls. I'm pretty good at falling. In fact, in the last week or so, I took a good fall. Not on ice, but I had a raccoon client. I have a couple of problem raccoons, hey, that they're not sick, and I'm having issues catching them. One of them, it was a family of 3. It's probably a mom and the 2 babies, and I was able to trap the 2 babies, move them out, but the mom didn't go in the trap, and so I ended up having to use a one-way door and exclude her from the crawl space. And then the client had her insulation redone up there, and then right after having her insulation done, the raccoon came back, and even though I had installed a shield under her soffit, it ripped the soffit off behind the shield and climbed back in. So I had to go up there and put another level of shield back behind the original, and check the crawl space again, make sure the raccoon's not up there. But this other house that I worked, it's a high house, and I had to use my ladder to get up on one section of the roof, and then pull the ladder up and put it up to the next section of roof where I needed to go to try to install my one-way door. And unfortunately, I didn't know that trick that people that work on roofs use for situations like that. You know, just putting a couple of screws into the roof back at the base of the ladder will keep it from sliding off of the angular roof, you know. I just judged on angle and gravity and such, and I judged wrong. And when I was at pretty much the highest point of my ladder, the ladder fell. It slid off the roof. Well, it slid down onto that first section of roof, and I came down. A good story. I fell onto my stomach and onto the falling ladder. And I've hurt my ribs. They're not broken. I've had many broken ribs, but they're bruised. They're sore. Hurt my finger a little bit, but that'll be okay. I'm lucky. I think of most guys, that situation would have got way more injured, maybe even broken a vertebrae or something. But I think because of my lifelong martial arts experience and stuff, I know how to fall and manage to get relatively unhurt. And that's what happened in this case. Like, I didn't even get the wind knocked out of me, just some bruised ribs, injured finger. But yeah, it was kind of a close call, that fall. And I backed out of that job after the fall. Well, actually, I put the ladder back up and I climbed up onto the top and was going to try to install the one-way, but I just can't get the angle right, and ended up telling the client the only way to get that one-way door up there is if we have a lift. So he's looking into getting roofers that'll work in coordination with me, use a lift and put a one-way door up there, exclude that raccoon, and then shore up his soffits. These raccoons are getting tough to work with here in town. They know the traps, eh? Skunks just follow their noses. They're not as puzzle solving in the same way as raccoons. And those raccoons, the ones that have been around a little bit, have probably been trapped by me once or twice and are pretty shy to go into my traps. Come on, girls. Taylor, where you at? There's my dog. Hey, my girl. Hear those ducks? That is the sound of American widgeons, which means the migration is underway, because those widgeons are new arrivals. So the summer migration is underway. They're usually one of the first ones here. And there they were. Man, this is beautiful. I don't know if you saw that skunk, but it's in bad condition. That's why I didn't chase it too much. It seems to have skin like ripped right off of its back. It's not in the trap, so I don't know what happened to cause that, but it's in pretty rough shape, that poor animal. It's right down here. Let's see if we can get a look. Yeah, that's not good. Not good. Poor animal. Anyway. Hopefully it survives. Doesn't get too infected. Carry on with the day. Me and the dogs are out of here. Well, the video is spilling into Friday now. Not a whole lot else happened yesterday, so I pretty much just went home and stuck around the house, did some cleaning, did some selling stuff on Facebook Marketplace, a little bit of writing, and then in the evening visiting. Had my roommate and one of her friends, well, one of her cousins, just came here from Vancouver, and so I sat up and visited with them. But nothing really video worthy, and I don't really know if anything else is going to happen even today that's going to be video worthy. If not, I'm probably just going to call it here, because we've got our updates and all of that, and things are just slow these days, so it is what it is. Weather's becoming really nice though. Like yesterday, we seen the migration starting, so I'm really looking forward to the change of seasons here. Right now, everything's just kind of drab and not quite there, but it's gonna all come bursting out pretty soon. Anyway, hiking home, I had went over the bridge with Sheena this morning. She needed her car serviced, so I drove her to work. Her work is having a meeting at the old Lethbridge Lodge, now Sandman Signature. So I dropped her off at her work, then dropped off her vehicle at the shop. Now I'm just hiking it home, and then when she gets done her meeting, she'll just go pick it up. We'll go from there. But yeah, instead of my dog walk this morning, I'm just hiking home. It's a nice walk though.